All right, guys, good morning. The rain may have struck again. We got a small little job to do today, and it is not draining a pond, but unfortunately we have a pond in the middle of a small little job site. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get this done or not. I guess we will find out. But more importantly, I got some exciting news and a little update on the future of the 850M. So let's get at it. All right, so you guys have seen this beauty on the channel for about 7-8 months now. We got about 300 hours on it. This was a demo unit from Case we've had in our possession for a while. And just to kind of back up here a little bit, I've been working with Case as a company for a little over 3 years now. They have sent us 4 different dozers, if you count the DL550, and 1 excavator, which is the 140, which we have recently purchased. We have paid for that machine 100%. That one now belongs to us and has no connections or ties to Case. But this machine here, excuse me, is still technically property of Case. It is a demo unit they have sent to us for a couple different reasons. One, to kind of show you guys the ins and outs of the Case dozer so you guys can see them working, and kind of get a little feedback to Case on what we think about it, what we like and what we don't like. So long story short, Case has been absolutely awesome to deal with. They've been, for as large as what that company is and as many layers as what there is, they've been fairly easy to deal with, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. But I say all that to say our time with this thing as a demo unit is coming to an end. So I just want to give you guys kind of a little bit of a rundown and some thoughts, and then kind of let you know what the future of this machine is. So I want to back up just a little bit. Like I said, this is the 4th different Case dozer we've had in our possession from Case. 4th different dozer Case has let us demo on the channel. The first one was the DL550, which is the dozer loader combination. The second one was the 1650. The third one was the 750, and this one is the 850. Now, in full disclosure and full transparency, whenever this whole thing started 3 years ago, I told Case that one of my next purchases was going to be a dozer somewhat this size. So they were nice enough to let me kind of demo these and see which one best fit our operation. So it's hard to compare. Case calls the DL550 a dozer first. That's why the D's in front of the L. It's not a loader first. But it is really hard to compare to a purpose-built dozer. It's still kind of a creature of its own. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to compare the 1650, the 750, and the 850 and tell you guys how we ended up here, because those 3 are a lot easier to have direct comparisons to. So the first dozer we had was the 1650. And that was the first modern Case dozer I've actually got a substantial amount of seat time in and ran. I got a full review on that dozer on the channel. If I can figure it out or think about it or remember to do it, I'll link it down below. I don't want to go into a whole bunch of details on that because I've already done it and it'd be repetitive, but a 1650 was a very, very pleasant surprise is the best way to put it. Very, very pleasant surprise. I think we had that machine for about 6 or 8 months. We put about 100 hours on it, had the rippers on the back, and it was a bigger dozer than what I wanted to buy, which is what we knew going in. That's what Case had available, so they just let us kind of give it a try, and it was a very, very pleasant surprise. So the second dozer we got was the 750, which we had it for about 6 or 8 months as well. It was a decent little dozer. I didn't have any major complaints with that dozer, but my biggest issue with the 750 was it was very clear it was just a little bit too small for what we were looking for. We were going to need something just a little bit more. The 750 would be a very, very, very close direct comparison to the D4. The D4 and the 750 are pretty much spec for spec, almost identical, and we wanted something just a little bit bigger because we intend on keeping the D4 around as just kind of those really small jobs or as a backup plan. So if I was going to buy a different dozer, I wanted to up my game just a little bit. And that machine had plenty of power, but I felt like it was lacking just a little bit of weight for traction. Not bad, but it was pretty clear that we needed, for what we were looking for, we're gonna need to up our game a little bit. So Case comes through again, and voila, we got the 850. And I will have to admit, out of all the Case dozers, Case machines, let me rephrase that, all the Case dozers we have demoed so far in the dozer family, this is by far my favorite machine. It's the most balanced between power and traction. It's got the best visibility. Case pretty much has got this same styling throughout the whole machines, but as that scales down, especially on that 750, we lost a little bit of visibility compared to the 1650. This is a nice little match right in the middle. We've had this machine for, I think I just said 8 months. Got about 300 hours on it. Have not had a lick of issues out of it. And the more we run this guy, the more I've just kind of got to like it. I have no real complaints about it. Now, not to get way off subject here, but I know some of these guys that have watched are super brand loyal, and don't even give a piece of equipment the time of day because of its color or its name. And I just don't follow that logic at all. And it don't matter what the name or the brand is, I just don't follow that logic at all. Everybody makes some really good equipment. Everybody makes some equipment they probably wish was better. At the end of the day, if somebody asks me what brand do I recommend, the first thing I ask them is, what dealer do you have the best relationship with? Because with all this new equipment, you need support, and wherever you got the best support is where I would suggest you going. The other thing, I think the trap, and I have been guilty of this in the past, the trap a lot of people fall into is the first piece of equipment, the first dozer, the first excavator that you really sat in and ran for hours on end in a production setting. For me, it was the old 120. I think you just naturally take a liking to that brand and that style of equipment. So if you grew up running a certain brand and put a lot of hours on it, I think it's hard for you to switch to another brand just because that's what you learned on. And I think that's what I've kind of figured out with this thing. This thing does have some different tendencies, some different quirks of some other dozers I've ran because I'm so used to running those other dozers. But the more hours I put on this one and kind of learn the machine, I realized they're just not that big a deal. And this thing can actually do some things the other dozers can't. So I don't think you can just hop in a machine, put 5 hours on it, make 2 passes and have an opinion. I think you truly have to put 300-400 hours on it, get some true seat time in one of these machines to get a full scope, full concept of how it really performs and what it really does. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents worth. Comment down below and let me know. This brand loyal concept just absolutely flabbergasted me from time to time. I just don't quite understand it. Or some people won't give a certain brand the time of day because it's a certain brand, whenever they've just literally ran it for like 5 or 6 minutes. So that's why I really try to hold my tongue until I put 300, 400, 500 hours on a machine, and by the end of that time I really know whether I like the machine or not. And honestly guys, this machine has truly grown on us quite a bit. I don't know the exact specs. I should have looked it up before I turned the camera on. I think this thing's a little over 100 horse, 110, 120 horse. It's sitting about 22,000 pounds compared to the D4, which is about 90 horse, sitting at about 16, 17,000 pounds. The blade on this machine is about a foot wider than what the D4 is, and it will push considerably more. One of the main things we wanted this thing sized for is the field tile work, building these dry dams and stuff. The D4 wasn't quite big enough to get a dry dam pushed up and finished. A lot of times we were taking the 850, pushing the dirt up, and then taking the D4 and finishing it. This machine here is big enough you can push the dirt up and finish it in a reasonable amount of time and not really have any issues whatsoever. But like I said, we have had 0 issues with this machine, no issues whatsoever. They have made some slight updates from machine to machine as far as the slam latches and some other things. It has been used. It has not been cleaned up. It is a little bit embarrassingly dirty, to say the least right now, but that's because we use it, guys. We didn't get it to look at, we got it to use it, and that is exactly what we do. So, all right, that leaves us to the question: where does that leave this machine and the future of it on the channel? The $1 million question. Actually, it's not the $1 million question. It don't quite cost that much. But here is the deal. Case has kind of stepped up to the plate, and they have committed to leaving this machine on the channel for the next 2 years, which I am super excited about. So basically, this is going to be a sponsored / demo piece of equipment for at least the next 24 months on the channel, which I am super excited about. That might be a little bit by design. They got some stuff in the works that will hopefully be out in the next couple years, and hopefully we'll get a chance to present that to you. But yeah, I couldn't be more excited, guys. We bought the Case 140, absolutely love that machine. Aaron and I both agree this machine has really grown on us. Case has been absolutely awesome to work with. I have no major complaints on these machines. The biggest complaint that most people have is visibility in the cab. And yes, the cab is not quite as modern or as quiet as some other brands out there, and the visibility is maybe not quite as good as others, but again, you set in it, you get used to it, you get some hours on it, you kind of figure out how to work around it, and that might be part of the 2-year plan. You guys will just have to stay tuned and find out. I don't know exactly for sure what they got up their sleeves, but I do know they're working on some stuff, and we'll see what comes to be. I'm gonna leave you guys on this note. One thing I absolutely love about working with Case, and what makes my relationship with Case so different than any other manufacturer I work with, is my relationship with Case is not with the marketing department. Marketing is kind of secondary to what my relationship with Case is, which is odd. I know that sounds really weird, but it's actually with the engineers, and these guys truly do appreciate the input from myself and others, and really go out of their way to talk to people that sit in these machines and operate them every day on a daily basis. There was an instance with the 750, the way the tracks were reacting under load, that I just really did not like, and they come down and paid a visit, and we worked on it for a couple hours, and made a huge difference. It made that machine operate totally different. Now, whether they implemented that across all their 750s, I don't know, but just the fact they take the effort to listen and try to address the issue means a lot. It means that I'm not wasting my time studying these machines. It's not wasting my time showing you guys these machines. And if you guys do end up purchasing these machines from one of these videos, I want you to know what you're getting, and I want you guys to be happy with your purchase. So we try to present them as truthful and as honestly as we can, and that way you know what to expect whenever you hop into one. I think if I come on here and told you guys this was the greatest machine ever, and Case was the most wonderful company ever, you guys would probably pretty much know I was full of crap. But I think you guys know me well enough to know I'm going to be pretty honest with you. Is there things about the machine that I'd like to see updated? Absolutely. Is there things about the machine that are absolutely awesome? Absolutely. I think you could apply that to any machine across the board. And the other thing is, you guys have to remember, and I have to remember this as well, what I don't like about this machine may be exactly what the next person is looking for. So just because it don't perform well in my application, it may be absolutely ideal for the next application. And Case has to build these machines for thousands of different applications. So to get it right for every single application, whether it be a mining application, a road application, a landfill application, just a random application like ours. It is hard to build the perfect machine for all those applications. So at some point you have to average all that out and end up with a product. And the reality of it is, I think Case has done a really good job. I know they've also worked really hard over the last years to improve the reliability and the maintenance on these machines, from updated wiring harnesses to updated hydraulic routing and fittings, and so on and so forth. And yeah, there's more changes coming. So if you guys got any questions about this machine or any other machine we have on the channel, I do my dangest to get to every comment possible. And I used to promise I'd get to all of them. I'm probably getting to about 90% of them right now. But comment down below, let me know. I'll do my best. There may even be some Case representatives in the comments that can answer your questions as well. But I'm excited, guys. Hopefully you guys are excited. We'll see what the next couple years brings. But long story short, this thing is going nowhere. So now, with that being said, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this. And I'm not 100% for sure what the plan is. So let's figure that out. All right, guys, talked to Jonathan, and I think we got a plan here. So this is a random fun fact for the day. So that building up there, that very first one, is original. All these buildings have been added on here in the last 15-20 years. So whenever I was a kid, this was the home of one of the largest excavating companies in our area. It was called Malone Brothers, and it was quite the operation. The best way I know to describe Malone Brothers is it was like a CNC equipment on steroids, but half as organized. He bought a lot of ex-military stuff, bought and sold it, had a big crew. Aaron's dad was actually one of their foremen, and they did a bunch of bridge and road work, bunch of yeah, they had a bunch of contracts. They did a bunch of stuff, and then unfortunately they had a few accidents, and times changed and they went out of business. Whenever I was a kid, this was used equipment and parts for like 4 city blocks. It was crazy, all the stuff that was in here. Absolutely insane. And somewhere right over there where that building's at, where I come down here one day and I needed the block for the old D69U, and Jim Malone says, yeah, I think I got one out there. He took the backhoe out here and literally started digging in the ground and popped a block up out of the ground. How he knew it was there, I'll never know. So I say that to say this: look how scraping around on here. It's hard telling what may come up out of the ground, because this property's got a very, very colorful past. So long story short, Malone Brothers went out of business. Another guy bought it, and he ran an exotic wood factory here. You can still see some of the remnants over there. He added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings on here. And I don't know the exact details of it, but he would import a lot of exotic woods and then manufacture it into hardwood flooring and trim and sell it to like box stores and stuff. And he basically retired, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. The property's just kind of been sitting idle, and that guy and the tire shop guy have got together, and basically they're going to open up a big tire shop here, which is something we need desperately. So with all that said, we are now tasked with leveling this up so they can put gravel on it. Jonathan came down here with his skid steer and decided he was going to be Mr. Excavator Operator, even though he owns a tire shop and dug a lake. And that's as far as he got. So it's probably hard for you guys to tell on camera because, well, the camera don't do it justice. But it's not that it's not flat, it's just kind of rolling and unlevel. And he wants to make sure it drains so we don't end up with spots like this. So I think first things first, let's just get the grass stripped off this thing, see if we can get it dried up, because we need to get this machine hauled out of here to another job. We got a really cool job coming up next to this thing, and see what we end up with. So, all right, enough yakking this morning. Let's do something. Fluids check, fire in the hole. All right, I think I'm gonna start over there by the road, kind of work our way that way, and yeah. Tell this is going to be fun. You can tell it's just a whole bunch of buried garbage. So the ultimate goal is to get this thing to drain this way. There's a ditch back here behind us. There's a piece of buried equipment right there. I don't know what it is. Find out here in a minute, but I'm gonna work this hump kind of up that way. There's no topsoil here to speak of, so stripping topsoil ain't gonna be worth our time. But yeah, I guess let's fumble around and see what we come up with. ditch cut in there. Hopefully that'll drain some of that water out of there. It seems to be going down through there. Well, haven't popped any engine parts out of the ground yet. We popped a little bit of everything else. Concrete, rebar, blacktop. Looks like the remnants of an old culvert. It's about what I expected in here. A little bit of everything. And in case you're wondering, look at an old telephone pole right there. In case you're wondering, is this miserable to doze? Yeah, you're absolutely correct. This is absolutely miserable to doze, but our ditch is draining well. Pretty much got all the water chased out this super low spot right here. I don't know. Jonathan says he wants this flat, but in reality what he wants this to not hold water and drain. It can be sloped or twisted or construed a little bit. Construed? Is that a word? I might be making stuff up at this point. I don't know. But that kind of gives you a visual. Excuse me. Ain't a bug. Give you a visual of we're raising that up about 6-8 inches right there. Cutting about 6-8 inches over there. This is all going to kind of drain down to this natural low spot right here. We're going to have to leave that little swell right there so it can get into the ditch. But we're making progress. The trick to filling this in with this nasty material is just fill it in really high, kind of track it in, get all the crap smashed down, and then you can come in and kind of start shaving it off and getting it closer to grade. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. It's kind of the same thing out here. You kind of make a cut where you know you're low, get all the big chunks rolled up, and then you kind of go back and just skim it and get some loose material and fill those holes in. Hopefully you can end up with something. Obviously at some point we're gonna have to come in here with some good rock or something to kind of run a final polish grade. I think he's gonna put some geo mat or something down and then put several inches of rock down. So all right, let's keep after it. try to save that. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get all this topsoil stripped, get this other side cleaned up a little bit. It should give me a little better visual on what we got going across there. It's kind of hard to tell with that grass what our elevations are in some places because it kind of varies a little bit as far as the height of the grass, but it's not looking pretty bad, not looking too bad. We've got a little bit of a knot over there. I think we got that hole filled in pretty decent right there. But let me get this last little area stripped right here, and then we'll do the old reevaluation. All right, guys, it ain't pretty, it ain't perfect, but for the material we had to work with, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. So here's what I'm thinking. We got a bunch of weather in the area. There's a whole bunch of rain just north of us right now. So I think I'm gonna hop on the old trusty roller over there. No, I got two of those rollers, and for some reason we always end up with the junk one running all the time. You'd think we'd use the good one, but I guess we're just not that smart. Anyways, I'm gonna roll this in. Let me throw this out of here. I need both hands to talk. I'm gonna roll this in, and I'm sure it's gonna show some imperfections and kind of give us a, it's kind of like taking that grass off. We get this stomped down, it'll kind of give us an idea of how we're laying. And I ran it with the dozer this way. I want to make my final passes this way because it does all drain that way. So hopefully if we got time, I'll roll it. We'll hit it with the dozer one more time this way, roll it again, and then at that point I think it's going to be down to, we're going to have to get some rock or some finer material in here to fine tune it out, because it's going to be about as good as we can get with the boulders they gave us to work with. All right, let's see if old pink pump fires up here. See what happens. Oh, this is gonna be a rough ride, folks. It's gonna be a rough ride. I can tell you already. Hopefully we don't get stuck. Oh, this one's got the safety on it. told me I was going to be able to get that rolled without getting that roller stuck, I would have lost that bet 100% for sure. It's actually the only reason I turned the camera on, because I thought for sure we were going to go across here and just bury that thing. But it actually worked out pretty good. The only soft spot we got, as you can see it plain as day, that's that little bitty ditch I cut down through there to drain that water out, and it's not horrible. It's not horrible at all, but that does kind of show all the little roly-polies and the small little imperfections we got. From here, it's just going to be a process of grade, compact, grade, compact, grade, compact, until we get it close. I think you guys can kind of see the storm moving in up there. I think we got time. We're going to go ahead and try to grade it one more time this way, and I'm going to roll it this way. That way all my little tire grooves have got the water draining off. Now, it might be as far as we can go today. I may have to get the grader attachment, the skid steer down here, and a little bit more loose material. And then we can really fine tune it, but we're headed in the right direction. All right, so this is kind of my technique down through here. We don't want to move a whole lot of dirt. We got it close. I'm going to take the blade on the way down. Just kind of fluff the top. Hit anything that's big or major. That's right. On the way back, we're going to put some angle on the blade. Put it in float. Kind of let the blade do its thing. Any rocks that should have nice column to help it take out some of those small little divots and stuff. I should tell you guys too, one other random trick slash technique I do is I only move over a half a blade width. So I guess technically that means I'm in this whole area twice, kind of at once, but by angle of that blade, that also changes the angle of your straight edge. So if you got a bunch of whoop-de-doos going this way, if you angle that blade, it kind of helps that blade really level those out for you. This is where you gotta have patience. And patience is not always my strong suit. Kind of tell I'm splitting my blade right there. Whenever I go to back up and back drag, I'm going to scooch over just a little bit farther even that way. Ain't she pretty? Straighten out a bunch of riprap, I'm happy with it. I guess it don't really matter what I think, it all matters what the customer thinks. I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy. looks absolutely fantastic. Considerably better than what I anticipated. And I would love to run that compactor over one last time, but those dark clouds over there confirmed by the radar says we are out of time. So we're gonna have to let nature's natural compactor do its job. The rain will beat that in pretty good. The only problem is you gotta wait for it to dry out before they can get some gravel dumped in there. But I talked to Jonathan. He's going to get a couple loads of rock in there so we can really kind of fine tune that. We'll probably use the grader attachment on the 240. And then we're gonna put some geo-grid down. I gotta hit my button. I'm in a hurry trying to beat the rain. We're gonna put some geo-grid down and put about 6 inches of some good rock down. That should make a really nice lot form. There's a pretty decent solid base there, so let's get this thing loaded up, get chained down, and get out of here before we get wet. Just in the nick of time. The rain is right on our heels. All right, we're out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about the 850 sticking around. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. We're heading to the house, heading to some high ground. Later. If your travels take you through southern Indiana or just looking for a unique destination, everybody is always welcome here at the world famous Derby Market and the home headquarters of the Dirt Perfect operation. No guarantees you'll catch Aaron or myself, but feel free to take all the pictures you like. Just for obvious reasons, please don't climb on or in any of the equipment. And most importantly, please tag us on all the social platforms, including the Derby Market. Before you head out, take a quick trip inside, look around, and locate the Dirt Perfect Visitors Map. Be sure you pin the location you traveled from and enter the Dirt Perfect Visitors drawing for a chance to win some Dirt Perfect merch. As always, guys, thank you for watching and supporting this channel. It means the world, and we shall catch you on the next one.